What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Liberty here today, bringing you another episode in the Elite or Retreat series on this channel. And today we are talking about a multiplayer map. We are talking about Sawmill, not Scrapyard. That video will be coming soon. It's more so a matter of I don't really know how I feel about that map yet. That map came out with Season 4, the remake of Scrapyard. It's interesting. It plays a lot different than the old Scrapyard, which I think is something that is very common with the remakes of all the maps in this game, is that with the different movement styles, the map just plays a lot stranger than it used to. But I haven't decided if I like that or not, and so when I make that decision, the gameplay I have and the relative commentary will be coming shortly. But today, we are going to get into one of my favorite multiplayer maps in this game, which is Hovec Sawmill. This map, I believe, dropped with Season 2, not 100% sure, but it was one of the first DLC maps to enter Modern Warfare, and thankfully, it is not a remake. My opinion on remakes is not a very positive one. I think generally with different movement styles and mechanics and sliding, for example, the remakes just play way differently, and what made them good in the old games doesn't make them as good in the new ones. But this map, I feel like, takes a lot of elements of maps we like, but makes it in a way that sort of operates better with the new movement mechanics. So Sawmill is a typical 3-lane map, and the comparison may annoy certain people, but it reminds me a lot of Raid in the way that it's a 3-lane map. You have this outer right lane by this current hardpoint that I'm looking at, which I believe is also the A-bomb site. It's one of the bomb sites in S&D. And you have that mid-building, which is a power position, but it's not an overwhelming power position. Because that cover is just small wood, and if you're rocking FMJ, there's almost no damage detraction from shooting through it, and even if you're not rocking FMJ, it only adds 1 or 2 bullets to the time to kill. So it's very easy to rip people off of that heady. And on the far left, there's a lot of interesting cover you can slide cancel around, but it doesn't become super annoying because it's not like I have to check 30 different places, say on Grozny Raid. There are only a couple different areas that they could be, so I could do quick checks and move quickly through the map. And that's one of the things I like about this map in particular on this game. There are a lot of maps like, say, Azir Cave, Grozny Raid, as mentioned before, that are just unnecessarily large and have a million places you need to look before you can get through your checkpoints and traverse around the map. This map, I think, is the perfect size for a 6v6 or even a 5v5. It's not super large. The spawns are decently far away from the action. The only spawn I will say is if you're in this close right building to where I'm standing right now, the spawn behind it in stables is it's a little bit of like a dominant spawn. It's something that a lot of other maps in this game do struggle from, is that dominant spawn sort of mechanic. Other maps that have it would say like Gunrunner with the water tower spawn, Petro with back bar, or even on, say, P3 on Petro, that back hazmat spawn is also another very dominant spawn point. So that stable spawn's a little bit sticky, but other than that, not too bad. The hard points, because obviously on this match, this is a hard point match. I believe I go 54 and 13, a little bit of lag there, frying with the M4. The M4 is my preferred gun on this map. I'll get into why in a little bit. But the hardpoint rotation, it's fine. I think generally this map on hardpoint suffers from what a lot of maps in this game suffer from, which is that the hardpoints are just too small. Like, I don't know if the function, it's a function of sort of the movement mechanics, that it's not like Black Ops 4 cracked where you can have a giant hardpoint, but I feel like these hardpoints, they all feel like Gunrunner P1 sometimes, where it's just a complete mess and cluster of nades and smokes and stuns. So I don't really like the hardpoint placement on this map, but to be fair to the developers and the people who made that decision, I don't really know how I would change it. I feel like this map has weird hardpoint potential. At the same time, it's the mode I prefer, mostly because I'm just, kill whoring on this map. I'm not really playing the objective. But hardpoint, interesting. Hardpoint position's a little weird, but the spawns are decent, except for that back stable spawn I mentioned on hardpoint. In Search and Destroy is where I think this map truly shines. This outer like rock bomb site, I believe it's a B bomb site, the offense can get there first, but it's not like an overwhelming plant. It's not like on Hackney Warehouse where you can just run up and plant it without really sort of any qualms about it. You can easily get sniped from top house. You can get naded from top house. People can cut you off on that cross, on that like side stable. So it is sort of the dominant bomb site, but it's not an overwhelming bomb site. And the alternative bomb site has the benefit of the top house positioning. There's a few cuts that you can take top house to stay on the roofs. And just having that window cuts off that entire mid lane if you can control it properly. And then if you 3-flood the point and play your trades, it usually is a solid plant. So offense is pretty viable. And I would say the same thing for the defensive side. If you can get the guy off bomb, if they go to the dominant spawn point by rock, you pretty much have map control if you can take mid. Mid does become a bit of a, I guess you could say, hotbed, a bit of a kill zone. But I think that's just how most search and destroy ends up being. Whoever can control that mid map can control the different lanes to get to, you know, say the connector to roofs or the connector to the rock to the D-bomb site. I also like it personally because some of my best clutches have been on this map. If you've been keeping up with clips and clutches, part 10 that dropped this past Monday, I hit a 1v5 on this map. I've hit some nice 1v3s on this map, and it's because in that back rock, in the deep, I guess you would say back left corner as to where I'm facing right now, it's a very sort of protected zone. I only really have to look in two directions. It's kind of like arcade on Piccadilly, where when I'm in a situation where I'm in a 1v multiple, I like to put myself in a corner type position where I only have to look in two directions, so there's less chance of getting COD timing. But obviously that makes me particularly fond of this map. And what in my opinion is the best part of this map is the visuals. One, it's a gorgeous map. The colors are great, daytime. And two, the contrast between the map and the players is very strong. So I don't have instances like I have on Piccadilly where I have no idea if I'm looking at a piece of wood or a player. On this map, it's very clear who is a player and what is a piece of cover. And that makes it extremely easy to play and just easy to enjoy and have fun on, which, of course, is the objective of every map, to be a fun map. In terms of competitive viability, this is, in my opinion, not a very competitively viable map. I think it has mostly to do with size. I think when you end up in a situation where you're in a competitive, say if S&D on Sawmill were to be considered by the competitive community, I don't think it works because it's simply too small. In 4v4 it might work, but in 5v5, that extra person on the map just makes the map play way too fast. You think about the fast search and destroy maps that are currently in the rotation, Ramaza is probably one of the faster ones. And there's a lot more space and variety and sort of lane dimension to that map. And that makes it better for competitive. And that's why maps like Hackney are only in respawn. For respawn, I think hardpoint locations is mainly the detractor. It could be an interesting map, but I think it's a little bit too simplistic to be put in a competitive 5v5 mode. But with that being said, man, I just love this map. I have a lot of fun in it. It's easy on the eyes. It's easy on the gameplay. It's just one of the best maps in this game. I would say it's top 5, maybe even top 3. I would have to really think about it before I came to that conclusion. So my conclusion is going to be elite. This map is one of the elite maps in this game, as I said. And to get into sort of what to run on this map, I'm personally partial to using an AR on this map. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, it's a smaller map. Maybe you run an MP5, especially since the MP5 is just, you know, the god gun of this game and to do it all. I still prefer the M4 just because there's some interesting head glitches you can play and some great angles you can play. And see, like the spot I'm chowing right here, that is a gunfight I'd rather have an M4 with than an MP5. Obviously, you can, if you want to play more in the inner house area, MP5 is preferable. But since I'm personally a pub player that tends to play outskirts, I would absolutely recommend, if you play in that similar style, rocking an M4 on this map. I think it'll yield better results than you expect. I would also somewhat recommend using trophies on this map. I know I'm rocking Deddy in this particular match, but there are a lot of, especially if you're playing a hard point or a surge, there are a lot of great nade spots that the other team might take advantage of. So I would recommend a trophy. But aside from that,
what the heck just happened?
Definitely one of the best maps in the game. Hope you enjoyed playing it. Hope you enjoyed my opinions on this video and play this elite map next time you're queuing up. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.